very much. So, dear colleagues, to start this short introduction to mindful art, I invite you to close your eyes and take a moment to center yourself on your breath or body. Please take a deep breath and open gently your eyes.
Thank you, Marjan.
Welcome.
Now, to introduce Marjan Abadie is no small thing, because as I already said, you are a multitude. Born in Iran, grown up on the German-French border in Strasbourg, but then transitioning to Paris. And there you studied at the Sorbonne. You finished an MBA in business administration. So you have done quite a few pivots in your life, transitioning to mindfulness, especially MBCT, and now during Corona, having created something new again with mindful art experience. And that is the main theme today. Instead of putting more of your accolades here in this group, if you think that there is something we need to know from your background, other than what I just said, for example, that your mother was an art lover and that you have been like marinated in art your whole life, then please add to what I already said. And with that, I would like to invite you to really take the floor and share with us what you developed. And thank you,
Okay,
really
thank you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation. So that was perfect. Thank you. As usual, I have the joy. What you forgot is to say that I have the joy and the privilege of being one of your colleagues and working with you a few times. So I would like also to thank AMBA team for the invitation and especially you, Katarina. That's um, your invitation. And I would also apologize for I'm really tired. So as I don't speak anymore in a regular basis in English, so my English may be not really very fluent. Please forgive me. And I will really love to thank everyone for choosing to be here despite this beautiful weather that invites us to go for a walk. And I hope that to meet your expectations. Um, I'm really, really very excited to explore with you mindful art, which is a method I created in 2018, that through art awareness offers us keys to self-awareness and connection to the others and well-being bring for ourselves. I will speak a little bit to this evening about the practice, about the steps that we bring in mindful art, and also a little bit about the research. And after we may open up for exchange. What about that? Is that sweet to you? Perfect. So let's go. Um, the idea of mindful art is to bring awareness through the beauty. And so I would like to invite you to, again, a short practice. Please close your eyes and take a moment to center yourself. So maybe the awareness of your breath, or taking a deep breath, feeling your lungs fill with air, feeling the presence of your body. And just before you open your eyes, I would like to invite you to recall a moment today when a shape or a color dazzled you, moved you. Please remind the body feeling, the emotional feeling, the thoughts, the moments as precisely as possible. When you encounter this beauty that moves you, you may not find it in today exploration. In that case, just let yourself recall another beautiful object that touches you in the past days by its shapes or color. Now take another deep breath in, a deep breath out with consciousness of your sensations when the air is in, out from your nostrils, your lungs. And open your eyes. And I would like to invite you maybe to have a short moment of exchange about this beauty connection. Oh, I see Katarina with a beautiful flower. Is that possible to have a short share about what was moving you and how it was to remind it? All your mic are off, so I don't hear you. You may say something, but
I would like to invite one of the participants first before I talk about this beautiful color that later also motivated me to bring it here. So maybe one of you.
Yeah, I can start by sharing a little bit about the perceived and the experience of beauty in Japanese maple tree, a fairly small one. So I'm drawn in by shapes, colors, and the details. And it becomes, I think there's a parallel experience for me. In some way, it might sound a bit unusual, but I can have the same experience if I see an aquarium. I want to sort of really get into seeing it all. So I want to see the branches and the leaves and yeah, so it becomes almost like a little world of its own that's lush and green and it's almost as if I access a form of inner chi or life force by connecting with it, sort of, or being present with it. Yeah, that's a bit for me.
thank you. So from an image, it became alive, actually. From a uh, you you connect. That's like you connected to the life through this beauty. For me, that's what I understand.
Yeah. No, I could probably go on and about certain colors and there's something about the shapes. So there can be a bit of strength and fragility. There's a lot going on there, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Magdalena, please.
When you said to find the color that was the moment of beauty today, it was this T-shirt. It's an old T-shirt that belongs to my older son. I found him in his room, which he uses when he comes home with his family. And when I saw it, I put it on, and it huge me. And just I saw his face smiling. Okay, mom, you can have it. And that was the moment of beauty.
On connection.
Yeah, that's about all of this in the color of this old T-shirt. Yeah,
Mm.
and this
The
moment
sea of
would go unnoticed actually if we didn't have this meditation. Now it is anchored. Thank you.
You're welcome. A sea of emotion and connection and nourishment. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please, Cynthia.
Yes. Well, my color was also green on two occasions. So I entered into a shop today and I saw these pair of sneakers for hiking, and they were green. And they just connected me to the hike I'm gonna make in just a few weeks from now. So that was a moment of beauty, thinking about how I'm going to walk in the mountains. And then at home later, when I was having lunch, I looked out of my garden and I saw the green, lush plants there, moving in the wind, and it was it was sheer beauty. So with the flowers and the green of the grass, and it was just very beautiful, and it connected me to my heart and to the love that I have for the garden and nature. So yeah, that was my moment of beauty and consciousness today. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Hmm. If someone else wants to share this connection to the beauty today, you're welcome.
I will. I found this beautiful color on my way to the market, and it really touched me. It's also a nice form. And I have lately discovered that very often I'm drawn to colors and forms that would refresh my aura, and especially the chakra that needs some support, some strengthening. And now that I'm looked at this and you asked for that, I realized that yes, that is the case. So beauty nourishes me in this case, and I can connect it to something that I need at the moment. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Actually, is there someone else who wants to share?
I would like to.
Okay.
For me, it is the field where I look upon when I am in this room. This is the room where I work. And next, I work from home, and we live next to a field. And in this field, there are different shades of gray, of green, also green, and brown, and different structures like trees and bushes and an open field. Sometimes on the field, little animals, birds who walk upon the field. And for me, it reflects really a natural beauty. And each time I come in this room, it also opens my perspective when I look at this field. And that's a very nice feeling.
Like, Please send an image of your window. As you described that, Marjan, it's really, yeah, it's a real attraction for all of you. I don't know if you had the feeling that you want to see the beauty, what touches the other in this moment when each of us take time to describe what was touching us. That's also a moment of connections to the others and also to ourselves. I will be back to that. Is that okay if we continue, or someone else wants to share? One, two. I don't see everyone, so I continue if you don't mind.
There's no
Actually,
raised hand. There's no
sorry.
raised. There's no
Okay,
hand. So
thank you. Actually, I practice this as much as I'm practicing the 3 minutes in my day. I know that you are all practitioners, and but as it is something I forget often to look at the beauty of things, and I feel it so good when I remind to myself to take this moment of seeing the beauty. And I would like to, I had the feeling to share it with you as a regular practice. I know that in my practice of teaching, one of the moments I'm really very touched is when people come during the courses and they say that they have been touched by, for example, the beauty of their children's hair curls or the beauty of the trees in the garden they have crossed for 10 years but never saw. That's for me the moment where I say to myself, hey, they are connected to the beauty of life. And so they practice mindfulness in a day-to-day basis. Just, I had the feeling that I want to also share with you how I came to start meditation, because I think it's deeply connected to the aesthetic pleasure for me. Actually, when I start meditating, as Katarina told, I had a totally different life. It was at the early 2000, and I was working as an engineer on Hewlett Packard, and often I had something like logging 70 hours a week and even more. And during a conversation, a friend mentioned something that had discovered in India. He talks about meditation. And just out of the curiosity, I decided to try meditation for the first time without any knowledge. So it's something a reasonable person will never do. But it happens to me to don't be reasonable in a way that when I'm curious of something, I go and I test. I want to experience things by myself. So I go there without any knowledge of what it could be and any expectation of or preconized notion about how it will unfold. And for someone like me, always rushing from one task to another to the next, the idea of spending 2 days in silent meditation is quite strange, unimaginable. But then, and in the moment, I don't know if it was in the beginning or in the middle or in the end, because that's 25 years ago, 24 years ago, but something profound happens. I rediscovered a sense of pleasure and serenity that I had known as a child when I would spend time watching leaves float on the water, observing ants carrying their loads, and marveling the play of light in the garden. Exactly what you described now. And it had been years, I may say lives, since I had felt that. But in that moment, I knew that this is something I need. And since then, I not left my Zafu. Many years later, I identify in my desire to test without knowing things, without asking any questions, embracing the experience without even thinking, which generally is a behavior that creates a lot of problem in our society. The fertile soil of non-expectation and infinite curiosity nourishing our practice. So I'm convinced that this is something we can cultivate through the connection to the beauty, and you are cultivating that day after day with the people you are teaching. mindfulness too. And so I think, as you may feel from my story start by this connection to the beauty. And then when in 2018, I start by create mindful art. It was also just an experience. I didn't create it by thinking about how it should be. It just came out. And now it has 3 different steps. We acknowledge our relationship with the beauty, can be distilled into these 3 fundamental states: perceiving, and experiencing emotional resonance. This process is fundamental to the practice of mindful art because it will invite us to fully engage with aesthetic through mindfulness. The seeing moment is in hectical lives. It's easy to overlook beauty, lost in thoughts. Maybe not you because you are a practitioner, but for me it happens. In many moments I may not notice flowers if I have not the intention of noticing them. So the mindful art encourages us to awaken from mental distractions and truly open our eyes. Seeing involves taking in the time to observe deeply, to be visually present and acknowledge the beauty. Then becomes the perceiving moment. As we explore, for example, the rose garden, it became a journey of sensory discovery, passing the reality to reality. Pausing pausing will help us to really look. We being perceiving details, as you told also, and the gentle curves of petals, of the colors, and everything that could touch us. Then became the moment of feeling the emotion. This is the 3rd stage. And this 3rd stage involved genuine emotion. It's a moment we encounter a unique rose. That's very well said in Petit Prince de Saint-Exupéry. We see a delicate contour, the scent of subtle fragrance, and it is the same, and in the same time, it will touch our heart, opens this singular beauty as a connection to the others, and the authentic emotion will arise. This connection can also be there with work of art. Actually, research shows that there is no differences between a human seeing a real roses or a human seeing a roses paint, or a real human faces or a human faces paint. Your brain will not say, hey, this is just color on a canvas. Your brain will see another human looking at you. And as we are working in the field of awareness, you know that there are many things in our days that they catch our attentions and they do not let you, for different reasons, maybe because we are not in a good moment, because we didn't know how to get connected with this flower or this human. when you are in front of a work of art, you are the master of your attention. When you are in front of another human, the human can move, you have to respond. There is something else which comes into the equation, you know. So with work of art, you have fully the time of having the 3 steps, nourishing the relation between you and the one who is looking at you. And observe how this person, this flower, this shape, this color touches you and brings emotions and feelings inside your body. And how this, one of the things I want to share with you is how this awareness could be a key to the happiness. I think that you almost felt it because of the experience at the beginning when you connected to the shape and the color. But if I'm not aware of the effect of a rose on me, it is as if this roses doesn't exist. The beauty of this flower, its colors, fragrance, all of this is lost if I do not take the time to linger on it. You know that much better than me. And that's what we learn to during our sessions with our the other the students. And every day offers us opportunities to experience these 3 stages. And the challenge lies in our ability to be present, to open our senses and our heart to the beauty around us. And the practice of mindfulness will bring in the same time the awareness, and because of the attention and the intention, you can see easily during the 8 weeks practice when we say to the people, to the students, to go and observe something that moves them, they may do that. And if you ask them at the end, if they continues to practice that, even if it touches them, maybe half of them don't do that anymore. So being aware of the effect of a simple rose, of a simple beauty, simple color, can have on us a step forward to the deeper happiness. And cultivating this happiness can transform our perception of the world and enrich our lives. I know that you are really aware of that. And, you know, the point is that the research shows that there are many parallels between the contributions of art and mindfulness to the public well-being, to the human well-being, in terms of personal well-being and also more societal well-being. Because if I feel better, I may have better relationships to the other. If I take time to improve my knowledge of myself, I may have better reaction with others, and I may develop also my sense of empathy. For example, these are few examples of how art can help us to develop a better relationship to ourselves and to the others. In collaboration with Lille University, a book will be published in September. And I have a chapter on this book when I do the parallel in 5 different axes. The physiological and cerebral reorganization through art and mindfulness. They are parallel researching showing that they are both doing that. A second step is the stimulation of emotion and their regulation. Both art and mindfulness are doing the same. They are touching people. Doing the same is not correct because the effects, I didn't compare the effects, but the fact that they have an effect, both of them. And the influence of art and mindfulness on stress reduction has been demonstrated through researches, and also the prosocial effects of visual arts and also mindfulness. And one of the fields which is very important is the specific benefits for the elders. And I would love to finish this short presentation before opening to the questions with one poem from Sohrab Sepehri, which is a very important contemporary artist. He's painter and also poet. And would you like to hear it first in Persian or first in English?
Open your microphones and say
In Persian.
Persian.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's hear it first in Persian. کار ما نیست شناسایی راز گل سرخ. کار ما شاید این است که در افسون گل سرخ شناور باشیم، پشت دانایی اردو بزنیم، دست در جذبه یک برگ بشوییم و سر خوان برویم. صبحها وقتی خورشید در میآید متولد بشویم، هیجانها را پرواز دهیم، روی ادراک فضا، رنگ، صدا، پنجره گلنم بزنیم. آسمان را بنشانیم میان دو هجای هستی، ریه ها را از ابدیت پر و خالی بکنیم. بار دانش را از دوش پرستو به زمین بگذاریم. That's an honor to have another Persian speaker here. It's not often that I have this chance. So I will read the translation in English. And the translation, one translation would be or task is not to uncover the secret of the roses, of the rose, or task might be to be immersed in the enchantment of the rose, to set up camp behind the knowledge, to wash your hands in the ecstasy of a leaf and go to the feast, to be reborn every morning when the sun rises, to let our excitement soars. To let our excitement soar, to adorn our perceptions, space, color, sound, and window with a dove, to place the sky with the two syllables of existence, to fill and empty our lungs with eternity, to take the burden of knowledge off the swallow's shoulders and lay it on the ground. I invite you to close your eyes.
You just demonstrated that it's not only visual.
Take a very deep breath. If you need, maybe close your eyes for a moment with yourself and open your eyes and sorry, I needed a little time to get out of the poem, and I'm yours. How do you feel? Sorry, Katarina, we talked in the same moment. Please.
Oh no, you're completely right. I had the sensation that you simply demonstrated to us that this beauty is not only touching us visually, but also with this very poetic language that it touches us auditively. And then when we understand the words of the poem, also the words touch us. And it's not a visual, but again, an auditive aspect. So it's very, very rich. And when you and I worked in Musée Canal in Brussels, where we used digital art, it was also the combination of visual and auditive impact on the participants. So it's much broader than visual.
Yes. Yes, yes. You are, in fact, in Sufi way, we will say that there is two ways, either the connection way or the separation way. And everything can brings to the connection will help us to feel ourselves as a drop of water inside the ocean of the other beings, and also having the ocean inside ourselves, inside this drop, being the ocean and the drop in the same time. And I think that the beauty and the joy are the master way to this connection. And one other thing, there is a neuro scientist who had prefaced my book on mindful art, which name is Méditer avec l'art, meditation with art. He had he says that art is caressing our brain. So, I don't know if you had this feeling. I have this feeling.
Yes. Marjan, please allow me to also say that Jolien Posthumus, at this moment celebrating with her husband the birthday dinner, she wants to extend her wishes and her gratitude for you presenting this. Two of the people who have trained with Jolien, Cynthia Steiger, and Aldous, I hope I pronounced this well, Aldous Moradi, you are here I don't know of the others. I don't know of you, Judith, or Annelies, or Gustav. I know, Magdalena, that you have not followed the certification of Jolene. So maybe, Cynthia Aldous, you would like to participate and share your experience so we can give something back to Marjan as from what you're doing in museums with mindfulness and art in mental health. If that suits you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I would really like to invite you.
Maybe I will just connect my computer because I'm afraid it will have a problem.
Ah. Marjan, are you working in Belgium with mindfulness and art or something connected? Maybe poetry or music or nature, gardens? You talked about these kind of things.
Yes, nature, I do, and I would like to do something with art in the future, and I'm very inspired by what I hear this evening.
Oh, I would love to hear also about what inspired you. What did you felt from?
Yeah, first of all, there was a lot of recognition when I heard you talk about your experience as a child. Some pictures came back to me when I was at the age of 7. I really enjoyed being in the field and looking for those little flowers, little white flowers. So a lot of recognition, like yes, I experienced the same thing. And I must say, I'm really interested in mindfulness, and on the other hand, also in art. I was also raised in a family where there was a lot of art. And for example, like I was in France a month ago, and in the Provence, and there you have both. You have the nature and you have the art. You have the galleries where women are together showing how they produce art, and there's also always a connection with nature and the mindfulness. Um, so I'm eager to explore, and was very attracted to what you are doing and wanting to know more about it. Like, for example, now when I hear you say, Katerina, that you both did the project in the Musée Cornell. It's the first time I hear about it, and yeah, I would like to know more about how you put it in practice or how you work with groups.
So maybe we can start with practicing with groups. Now we just, for example, finish with the poem. You had lots of feeling. Each of you had the emotional feelings, body feelings, images, as you told. And what I do after a session like this is I open up the discussion, and everyone can explore and express about the feeling was present there for the person. And it's a moment of where we talk about ourselves, because we have this connection, very deep connection to ourselves, and it's a real very a nourishing moment for the person and also for the group. So don't hesitate if you feel that something has been touching you by the poem, by the experience. You're welcome also to share it. And then I can explain you how we work with museum, of course.
Judith, when Marjan had just spoke out the poem aloud, you very spontaneously put in the chat, that was beautiful. Do you allow me to invite you to maybe say something about the beauty that you experienced? And then I saw, Annelies, that you raised your hand. Then we will listen to you. Is that okay? Thank you.
Firstly, apologies for being late. One of those days, so apologies for coming in after you'd begun. I obviously didn't understand the words because it was when you were saying poem in Persian that it just really, really touched me. I just thought it was beautiful. The language, the sounds, the rhythm. So I had no sense of what that was about at all, and I had, I suppose, missed a bit of the start. But it was just that essence, that sense that hit. And it was just, yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are making lots of story about the difference between cultures, and that shows that cultures can be shared in another level than words. And Rumi had a very beautiful poem. He says, ای بسا هندو و ترک همزبان، ای بسا دو ترک چون بیگانگان. You will see many Indian and Turkish sharing the same language, and you will see two people from two Turkish not talking the same language. And then he continues and he say, همدلی از همزبانی بهتر است. Having the same heart is much more important than having the same language.
So true, and so beautiful. I'm really interested for tonight because I have the opportunity to work on a project, a cross-community project in Belfast with murals. Artwork, it's not something I've worked on before. I've done a lot of cross-community work before. So I'm really, really interested, Marjan, in what you have to say about, in regards to museum work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Annelies, do you want to speak up? Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. I was really touched by the first time the poem was as kind of a song for me. And when you started in English, it was not so needed for me. So it was like too fast to just overwhelming over the song or I was feeling in my body, and I was really touched by, very impressed by, all my sentences were seeing, feeling, hearing, and I recognize it as a same experience when I was taught at the breathworks training in England, and my English was just more better now, and there were very many nationalities, and it was so nice. It was so new to experience how it is to be present in hearing some different language, but it was like touching me more and more. It was as if it makes more easily connection with me and with the experience of being the universe, the drop in the sea you talk about. that's a kind of experience that I really can have when I realize when I am confronted with a language I really don't understand. And yeah, it's amazing, eh? that it works in that way. And I'm touched by that you say, hey, when you are looking at an art and a painting, you see, and it's more easily to make connection. Also, I feel also that you make more easily connection with yourself and with the world when looking at art, or when being when you have to do with art, it's more easy to have the feeling of connection. I realize now that you are talking about it, and think, oh yeah, and that was and I realized that for me, is making art. I'm a felt artist and I'm painting something, but I'm really felting and so on. And I started making felt very, very many hours, lots of hours, when I lost connections. And that was the way I reconnected with myself and reconnected with the world. I could develop again. I transformed a way of being reconnected with the world and with all the common humanity and so on. And so in mindfulness training, I'm really interested by integrating some kind of artist or activities, or I'm walking outside in the nature, of I integrate some activities like painting or so, or felting. But that's a way of exploring. But thanks for being here with you. So that's very stimulating. And yeah, I recognize how it works. And now you say it, and then, yes, that's what it is. So yeah, I hope I will be a little bit clearer, but I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. When you have been talking, I was telling to myself, we don't need to understand birds for being touched by. And it's that's way, maybe. And usually studies shows that usually in museums, people spend 8 seconds till 25 seconds in front of a piece of art, which is very, very small. And we know that it's the quality of our presence that creates the relation.
Sorry, can you repeat that last sentence?
Yes. When you go to the museum, when people go to the museum, there are studies that they shows that generally people, they can spend 8 to 24 seconds, so less than 1 minute, in front of a piece of art, which is really very, very small.
And then?
And then the quality of your presence is also, if more you spend time, more you create connections.
Yeah.
And that's why this is slowing down and taking time. It's very important.
Yeah.
And that's what we have done right now, little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Annelies. All those you raised your hand, so please speak up. Thank you.
It was nice also for me to hear the poem in Persian first from a poet whom I've known by name, but I don't know his work that well. But why I'm sharing this, because most of you didn't understand the words. So I was sitting here, I knew the poet, and I understood most of the words. So for me, something else was happening actually in my mind. I could sense the feelings and the emotions of the reader, of course. And in Persian, it's more, because if it's your mother tongue, if it would be in Dutch, or for some of you in English, you would have the same. So I noticed what also happens when someone is creating something, or reading it in this case, that we also can take over their feelings whilst they're reading, or whilst they have created that painting. So for me, that was an interesting thing to notice. And amazing job to translate that in English as well, because Persian is quite a rich language, and some of the metaphors and things are very challenging to translate in other languages. And even if you translate it, it doesn't come over that rich, but you get the flavor, definitely. We have been training with Jolien Posthumus. We actually were a group of 12 people in Holland, Marjan. We trained with her, and the group, or the practice that we're bringing in the Dutch museum at the moment is mindfulness in the museum. And it is kind of, it has similar things as you're describing. And what I found interesting, because I joined also Jolien, I think she's been doing it now for 7 years or so. She pioneered it, and 7 or 8 years she pioneered it. But really, the foundation of it is the mindfulness as she was taught and certified in. And she brought it in a museum near to Amsterdam. And now we have a handful of museums through Holland, through Netherlands, that we are exploring, and we are offering it. And the sessions are 1-hour sessions. And what we do is inner connection, and a connection with the art piece through a guided meditation, and then an inquiry at the end. And I've been joining a few of them, rather than giving the session myself. And what is interesting to notice is that when people take time, as she was saying, because often we don't take the time, it's kind of like less than a minute, but when they take time, they also get to know their own mind better. So it's kind of like, it's not necessarily out there on the art piece. The art piece is, as we know in mindfulness, it's kind of like an anchor that's been used to like, we use the breath basically in mindfulness, but the breath can be quite challenging for people, especially if they are not mindfulness trained people, beginners basically. But when they have an external anchor, like an art piece, and most of the times that I've been practicing this in groups and gatherings, it has been on paintings or pictures, photographs, or actually a constellation. I did it recently for the ones who are in Holland. There is a constellation of the Korean artist. She's using bandaris, some kind of bundles that they carry in Korea, and she has made a constellation in the Lakenhal in Leiden, and we did it there. But what is fascinating, just in short, to share my experience on that, is that people get to know their own mind better. Even if it's 1 hour, they realize things that they wouldn't have realized if they would go to that particular exposition, or they would see that picture just by themselves. It's kind of like they come out of the session anew. Of course, it's just a beginning for them. It's just a 1 hour thing that we do, and we're still in exploration phase with it. And we're in discussion with different musea, but yeah, that's in brief what I have to share about that, because Katrina was also asking that, and I don't know if you have a question, Marjan, or whether Cynthia wants to add something, because Cynthia is with me as part of that group as well. But yeah, happy to hear any of you.
Yes, I would like to add. Thank you, Aldous. Because Aldous, you talk about anchoring your attention towards this art. But what also happens is that the art mirrors your emotions and your state of mind. So it might very well be that one day you feel, it's very beautiful, and the other day you might get sad. So that's also something that that I would like to to express, that also happens. And so, of course, with mindful art experience, that with the poem, I didn't understand Persian, the Persian version of the poem, but it sends shivers down my spine and throughout all my body. So it's also this melodic sense of the words and your emotions that reflect something in me, I guess. So that's, I think that's beautiful. So it's just a little bit that I would like to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Aldous. The fact is that art is, as you told, and a mirror and an anchor to see that we are the same humanity, and I can see myself through someone else, the work of art that someone else is offering to my eyes and my body and my soul. So it's a very, it's not from the artist to me, it's not from me to the artist. It's really very circular, coming and going like that. And there is a Persian poem says, a Sufi poem says, آینه رنگ تو رنگ کسی است تو ز همه رنگ جدا بوده. You are a mirror that brings the color of what is in front of you. You have no color by yourself. And in Sufi way, our work is to work enough in ourselves to become a mirror. That means that we are not so much modifying what is outside, we are reflecting that. And you see the similarity with mindfulness. And what I can say about the poet is that he is a very, very anchored person in Zen practice and also in the Sufi practice. And when you see his painting, you can see both of these influences there, either in painting and also in poems. When he say that we have to put a pause in the 2 syllables of being, is what we do with mindfulness. When he says that we have to camp behind the knowledge, is that we do, but by bringing people to their body and their emotions. Because when a baby become to the world, the baby brain is only emotion and feelings. And with age, this brain will be modified to be more and more symbol and oriented. So from the being mode, the baby's brain go to the doing mode. And what we do in mindfulness is to bring people to the being mode, to the behind the knowledge. So it's beautiful to see how humans knows that by essence, by themselves, 800 years ago, 1000 years ago, because these Sufi poems I share with you, they have this age.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing them.
Awesome. I had the very, very, very nice privilege to learn poems before learning writing with my grandfather. So that's wonderful. They are there with me. I carry them everywhere. And actually, I have to tell you that after the revolution, I arrived to Europe. One of my concern was I will never be able to share any more poetry with anyone. I had 10 years old. And the very, very, very first time I took this 8 weeks, because someone told me, you know, the meditation you are doing, that was in 2009, 10, something like that. The meditation you are doing, they are doing that at the university. Go and have a look. So I ran to the university, see what it is, and I subscribed to 10 to 8 weeks. And when at the sixth session, that was this poem of Rumi, my heart just came. I saw that the other people can understand what is my roots, and I think that if we do that today, is also thanks to this first encounters with the 8 weeks practice.
Yes, and in fact, we are grateful to your culture having brought forward Irumi, because many of our colleagues and we ourselves, as we are here, we are offering Rumi texts to our participants, and they resonate. They resonate with people because it's really from the heart. Yeah. Something I would like to suggest before I forget is that after this, Marjan, maybe you can offer the poem and can also offer a visual piece of art. Then I will put it on the post where the publication was for this evening. And you as participants could see it if you go there, because I think I cannot send it to you because we don't have all your email addresses. But if you want to be sure that in the future you get that information, you might want to subscribe to the Yamba newsletter. And then go to the post and see the poem and also the piece of visual art that Marjan will share with us. Then past this encounter, we will still share some beauty with each other. But just to not forget, and before anyone is leaving here, because you have to make time for something else, remember that. Maybe we can also listen to, I see Gustav. I don't remember whether you have joined in the Yamba meeting, so this must be special for you. This meeting, obviously, this offer resonates with you. Maybe you want to speak up and share why you are here. And maybe also others, maybe Magdalena, you haven't shared your motivation to be here now. And whether you need something from Marjan. And then there is also the question, Marjan, of what you do in museums that you might want to address. So maybe first that, so and the others can adapt, find out whether they want to speak.
Yes, sure. So actually, I started working with museum in a very strange way. A museum comes to me and say, we would like to do audio guides, that, you know, the audio you are hearing in the museum with meditation. And I spent 1 year to create that, and that never happened. And but I started working with different museums. The first museum was les Musées Royaux de Beaux-Arts at Brussels. And now there are more and more museums working with the method. And I started also to teach, because there were many people who are asking, how can I integrate what you are doing? What I didn't told is that I changed my work, because now, since 15 years, I'm psychotherapist, and my specialty as a psychotherapist is working on emotion as an MBCT therapist. And so there are many part of that on this training. And we started by having them, the first of them were 3 years ago, very short ones. And now we had 2 times 1 day. The next one will be in October. They are only in French, but maybe if there are many people who wants to have a day of workshop, we can planify that. What about that, Katarina? With Amba, if you think that it's it can nourish people, members from EAMBA. So the work in museum starts by connecting with one piece of art or with general vision of art. That could be really these 2 different ways. And it's a co-construction with a museum always, depending on what they need. Voilà.
She's not on the call now. I think she dropped off. But
okay.
The recording is continuing and we're still here. Oh, she's there now.
She's coming back.
Yeah, you might need to repeat yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Katarina, I was just telling that if EAMBA members are wondering, they want to have a teaching or 1 day or more, we can maybe planify that. And that the work with the museum is very, is a co-creation with the museum, depending on which type of art is. But what I remarked is that it always brings an awareness of for the people who are practicing, and also something in the museum changes by the practice.
Yes, and to share what Jolien does, she also emphasizes, like you do, that it's a co-creation with the museum, and that the museum also needs to recruit the participants, so that it really is on the program of the museum, that there is something that is, it's really integrated. So that is the same as you do. I remember that we had the sponsor at Canal Plus, and they were just so joyful that they had this possibility. So yes, confirmation of the thing that we do, that you and also Jolien do in collaboration with the museum. And if this is possible, that we have a longer session for EAMBA members, I'm open to publish that. That can be done. We now have this possibility of master classes, and this could be a master class. Yes.
Yeah, we can think about that together.
Here, yeah, of you colleagues, you are here. Would that be of interest to you if you had a master class on what Marjan has to share? Would you participate? Can you give? Yes, there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, Marjan, here are your I will remove the spotlight so we can see everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Judith says thumbs up. I saw Magdalena thumbs up, Cynthia, okay, well, most of us, is Gustav also? Well, no one's saying no, Marjan, so you've got your yes.
That's and that's really a joy for me to share with you. Okay. Yes. Is there any other question I can answer?
Yeah, Gustav raised his hand.
Can I just, yes, I have to admit that I kind of, it slipped my, despite all the awareness training in various forms over some years, it slipped me the first two stages. It wasn't that clear to me. The final stage, you applied three kind of ways into awareness in relationship to the art. And the final one, if I understood, was your emotional resonance. But the other two
first.
Yeah, would it be possible to repeat that? And the name of the poet would be great. And it's great to hear that you will publish or put up the poem on the webpage. That would be great. So I'm just doing that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I will also share a link when you can find most of his poem translated to English. And I don't know if you are you like cinema, because there is a very, very well-known Iranian movie maker, and he made a movie named "Where is the House of My Friend?" It's from this. The inspiration comes from this poet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a very important poet, contemporary. The first step is to see.
Right, okay.
You know, without our attention, we cannot see things.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And then it's being impacted by, in French we say, voir, percevoir, letting your body perceiving things. Then when you let open your you know, the fields of your body and your sensations open to feel, you will feel a lot of things, and they will resonate on your emotional part.
Great.
So in French, that would be voir, percevoir, s'émouvoir. And we need this base of mindfulness, which is attention and intention for both of them.
Great.
For the 3 steps. I think maybe Katarina's network is not very very functioning. Because she's now and you are the animator, because Katarina is gone. I think there is a network problem. Marianne?
Yes. Is there something I can do, or?
Because you are the animator, because Katarina has to leave. She's coming back. I think, Katarina, you have a network problem, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, I'm in. Yes, I'm out. My signal is going to the satellite and then coming back to the ground. I'm around in an olive yard. So this is, it's quite bad. But I did send you in the chat a message that if you want to have the information on the masterclass, please make that you connect, because some of you, we don't have the email addresses. I'm sure Gustav that, not really sure, but as far as I can, that we don't have yours. And if you want to see directly what Marjan will send us, go to the post that I put it with the name of the poet, with the poem and all that. So just to ensure that you get the information. And before my internet is knocked down again, I would really like to thank you, Marjan. It's from the bottom of my heart, it was a joy to have you here. And so much gratitude for you offering even more. I mean, we are here in generosity and gratitude, because there is no money involved here, and still we create a lot of value. So thank you very much. Thank you all for being here and making this exchange valuable for all of us. As long as we collaborate, we are all learning.
Thank
So
you
please,
very much.
it's a joy.
Thank you. That was really a joy. If you want to join me, it's very easy in LinkedIn. You can just type my name. There are not many people having the same name. Yes, it's very easy.
On the post in the Yamba network, the link to Marjan's LinkedIn profile is already published. So just click the link on Marjan's name.
Thank you very much, Katarina, for the organization, for everything. And thank you for all of you to be with me instead of having a walk outside. So thank you.
Yeah,
Have a
really,
very
thank
good
you.
evening. Bye-bye.
Evening.
Inspiring.
And goodbye.
Enjoy.
All the best.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
And the recording will be there.
Bye
In a few-
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.